It began with a discovery so small it could have been dismissed as dust. In 1947, a Bedouin shepherd named Muhammad Dib hurled a stone into a dark cave near Qumran, by the shores of the Dead Sea. The clatter that followed wasn't the sound of rock striking rock, it was the echo of history shattering open. What he found that day would shake faiths, stir hearts, and ignite one of the greatest mysteries ever uncovered, the Dead Sea Scrolls. But this story, this truth, begins not in the desert, but in the heart of a man who dared to ask what others feared to question. Dr. Elias Crane was a biblical historian at Oxford. Brilliant, humble, and quietly tormented. He once believed with all his soul that the Bible was unshakable truth. But years of conflicting manuscripts, mistranslations, and centuries of human interference had chipped away at his certainty. By the time he turned 45, his faith was like an ancient ruin. The walls still stood, but the foundation was cracked. When Elias's wife, Mary, died of cancer, that last piece of faith crumbled. He stopped praying. He stopped teaching. He lived in the dim light of books and whiskey. Then, one night, a call came from an old friend, Professor Yusuf al-Hakim, an archaeologist working near Qumran. Elias, Yusuf said, his voice trembling, we found something. A scroll, older than any we've seen. And it mentions, the teacher of righteousness. But this one, he paused, this one also mentions Yeshua. Elias froze. No Dead Sea Scroll had ever directly named Jesus. Until now. A week later, Elias was standing under the blistering sun of the Judean desert, his boots sinking into the dust of prophecy. Yusuf led him into a narrow cave, its walls etched with faint, ancient symbols. In the flickering lantern light, Elias saw it, a fragment of parchment, browned by time, edges burned, the ink faded but legible. The Aramaic writing translated roughly to, greater than, the teacher spoke of the light that walked among men. He said, the Anointed One has come, not to rule, but to awaken. They will not know him by crown nor temple, but by the tears he sheds for those who hate him. Elias's hands trembled as he read. Could it be possible that the Essenes, the mysterious sect who wrote these scrolls, knew of Christ before the Gospels were ever penned? That night, under a tent beside the Dead Sea, Elias couldn't sleep. He whispered to himself, if this is real, it changes everything. But truth has a cost. Within days, whispers spread. A Vatican historian arrived, asking to review the scroll. Then came officials from Jerusalem's Antiquities Authority. And soon after, the military sealed the dig site. Yusuf was furious. They're hiding it, Elias. They don't want the world to see what this scroll says. But Elias warned him, we need proof, careful translation, testing. If we rush, they'll bury it forever. Still, one night, Yusuf slipped Elias a copy. In case something happens to me, he said. 3 days later, Yusuf's jeep was found overturned in the desert. Burned, and the official report called it an accident. Elias's heart broke again, but this time, grief turned to resolve. He took the copied scroll to England, hiding it in a sealed journal marked simply, the Light Manuscript. For months, Elias worked alone, translating, cross-referencing, and what emerged was breathtaking. The scroll described a man, Yeshua of Nazareth, who came to the Essenes years before his ministry. He taught them of compassion over sacrifice, forgiveness over ritual, and the divine light within every soul. One passage read, greater than, he said unto us, you seek God in the temple of stone. But I say to you, the temple is within your heart. When you love the least among you, you see the face of the Eternal. Elias stared at those words for hours. Tears blurred his eyes. He whispered, this is what faith was meant to be. But when he tried to publish his findings, no journal would print them. His university dismissed him, labeling his work theological fiction. Friends distanced themselves. The church condemned it. He lost everything. His career, his reputation, his peace. But deep inside, Elias had found something far greater. He had found belief again. 10 years later, an old man now, Elias sat by the Dead Sea once more. He had returned to where it all began. The caves, silent as tombs, seemed to breathe with memory. He looked at the rising sun over the salt plains and whispered. Maybe truth was never lost. Maybe we just stopped listening. Before his death, Elias mailed his translation to a small monastery in the Galilee. He included a note, greater than, to whoever reads this, do not see it as proof against faith, but as a mirror showing what faith truly means. The teacher did not come to build walls of belief, but bridges of love. Years later, that letter would resurface online. Millions would read it, many would doubt it, some would weep, and a few, just a few, would feel something awaken deep within them. Epilogue. The light still shines. A century from now, perhaps new scrolls will be found. Perhaps the words of Elias Crane will fade into legend. But the truth will remain. That the message hidden beneath centuries of doctrine was never about power, or ritual, or fear. It was about love, the kind that forgives the unforgivable, the kind that heals the broken, the kind that still whispers through time. Greater than, the kingdom of God is within you. And as the waves of the Dead Sea lapped quietly against the shore, it was as if the earth itself remembered. The teacher had come, and his light had never truly left.